What is coming first, GTA 6 or Daima Super Saiyan 4 Goku? Hey guys, Marsning in here, bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video. And so today I wanted to talk a bit about the Daima situation for Dokkan. I know a lot of people are getting frustrated, I think, at this point with the overall lack of Daima representation in Dokkan. We are looking down the barrel of a repeat situation of the Beast Gohan scenario where like Dokkan is just going to end up being the last game to get these Daima forms. And it's really confusing as to why. Like, they've had multiple opportunities to capitalize on the hype of Daima. I mean, you think way back when I'm not sure if Legends was even out then, but when the episode first aired with the debut of UI Goku, where we saw UI for the very first time, UI Goku dropped on JP the next day. And that was like insane hype, right? He didn't even have an awakening, right? He dropped as a UR that didn't have a Dokkan event. And it wasn't until later that he actually awakened. And even as an unawakened like UR, he was still relatively decent. But people went crazy and like everyone summoned for him on JP, got top grossing. Like, it was wild, right? And it happened the day after the episode. Daima has now been finished for months, right? And even in game, with the Daima story event, like a lot of people speculated, oh, could we get Daima for Golden Week because that's a dual Dokkan Fest kind of scenario. We could have gotten Goku and Goma, for example. Then when that didn't happen, it seemed like the build-up was largely pointing towards the Global Dokkan campaign. And I mentioned this in a video earlier today. I've mentioned it recently a couple of times, but like even leading right up to the day before we got the GDC teaser that had the Zamasu voice line at the end, even before that, people thought that it was going to be Daima, right? Because if we'd had no other hints before then, it was like the pinky, purple, and blue, like trails of energy in the sky. If that teaser had dropped on its own out of nowhere, I even said at the time, like I could easily see that as being a Vegito Blue versus Rosé kind of thing. But with everything else that we'd seen at the time, a lot of people posted a bunch of clips like from the Goku and Goma fight, where it is very much like that purpley pink red sort of colour versus blue, like it's got that colour theme to it. So people were convinced it was going to be Daima, and then of course the very next day we got the video version of that same teaser and it had the Zamasu voice line at the end and essentially confirmed that it was going to be Future Saga, which is then of course what we actually got. So yet again, another potential opportunity for Daima being fumbled. A lot of people now had moved into the whole, oh well, will it be Tanabata now? Because Tanabata is usually a Dokkan Fest LR Part 1 and then a Carnival LR Part 2. So that seems like the next time a big unit would drop. However, I realise I've had this GTA 6 like thing up on the screen the whole time just for the sake of that one meme like joke of what's coming first, something or GTA 6. But when it comes to the situation currently, we know that we are very soon going to be getting a new release, potentially this Friday. I did make a video, I'm not sure which order they'll go out in, but I made a video speculating about a potential Dokkan Fest baby like leader skill setup. So check that out if it's out already, or if it's not, it'll be out later, so keep an eye out for it. But obviously the big thing when it comes to that is that thanks to Proton like showing this, the new map for the event ID that appears to be an upcoming Dokkan event, it's a Dokkan event for a character that doesn't have a Dokkan event already. Otherwise it would just be a new stage being added to an already existing stage. That's why we think it will be something like Baby with a bunch of the GT events returning, instead of something like Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, who already has his own Dokkan event that would just get a stage added to it, right? But of course, another unique character that does not have a Dokkan event yet is Super Saiyan 4 Daima Goku. Now, I will say straight off the bat, this isn't me making some insane cope like, oh, I think it could actually still be him, guys. Like, I do think it is just going to be Dokkan Fest Baby. That's my number one pick for what seems the most likely. I just wanted to use this video as a way to talk about the Daima situation and the fact that not having Daima in the game yet, I think is absolutely crazy. Because the problem is, the hype will wear off. And that's the big issue. Like, when it comes to new stuff coming out. People want that stuff to be in the game because it's the current thing, it's hype, it's what everyone's talking about. And I know Daima wasn't everyone's cup of tea, just like GT isn't for everyone. Some people don't like Super, especially if they grew up with Z. They don't like a lot of things about Super. Recoloring of like new forms that are just recolors and all this kind of stuff, right? There's criticisms for every aspect of Dragon Ball. Not everything is for everyone. But whether you are for or against Daima or not, like, if it's going to come out in the game, it's more hype if it comes out sooner rather than later. And a lot of people have been saying, since we didn't get Daima for the GDC, a lot of people saying, oh, well, at this point, Daima's just going to be for the 11th anniversary. Now, of course, that sets off a whole other debate with the people who don't like Daima, saying it's not anniversary worthy and all that kind of stuff. But the problem with that is I feel like that is way too long to wait. Because by the time we get to the 11th anniversary, Daima will have finished, or have been finished, like the final episode would have aired, like almost a full year after that point, right? If we wait until the 11th anniversary. That is a crazy amount of time to wait to drop probably the most hype thing to come out of Daima, right? Because much like me, even at people who don't like GT, a lot of people really like the Super Saiyan 4 form. So even if you don't like GT, or even if you don't like Daima, the Super Saiyan 4 Goku does still carry that sort of hype with him, right? And of course, recently, you know, we've gotten these extra buffs for Giant 8 Power and for Super Saiyan 4 in general. I mean, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, this guy, in terms of hype, the community just went into an absolute insane, like, hype overload, because this guy just has that swag, he has that aura, he's that guy. The animations are super good, and we've gotten a bunch of Super Saiyan 4 like Easy A's and upgrades and stuff like that. So a new Super Saiyan 4 Goku coming out, but like the Daima version, will still be hype for a lot of players, even if you don't particularly like Daima, because a lot of people just like Super Saiyan 4, a lot of people like the Giant 8 Power team and setup, and so just having another buff for it, especially because it will be a uniquely named character, right? Because he will be called Super Saiyan 4 Goku brackets Daima, so he's another uniquely named character to be on the team, and that will be super good for all of this stuff that's coming out. I've already done videos talking about like all the crazy buffs that Giant 8 Power is going to get. We're going to get the heroes, Super Saiyan 4 Easy A's and all that kind of stuff. So the longer they make us wait, the more annoying it is, because in game we have the free-to-play versions of like the base Goku and Vegeta. Then we have this Daima Super Saiyan Goku. He came out for New Year's, like the end of 2024. So this is already, this unit, it's crazy to think about, this unit is already 8 months old. 8 months since this guy came out, right? And then we have the Super Saiyan 3 Daima Vegeta, who came out as the EX part at the end of the anniversary. That was in March. That was 5 months ago. In fact, to the day, because it's the 4th today. So this guy is 5 months old. The mini Super Saiyan 3 Daima Vegeta. So obviously the video is mainly talking about Super Saiyan 4 Goku, but like adult Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta is included in this list of stuff that we're waiting for. And characters like adult Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta and the Super Saiyan 4 Goku are already in games like Legends, which is, I don't like to call it the competitor to Dokkan, because obviously it's a very different kind of game. Legends is more about PvP, Dokkan is all PvE and is more about collecting and the cool animations and stuff. So I know a lot of people play both. Some people play one or the other, but more so because they prefer the actual gameplay style itself. So they're not competitors in the terms of, if you're looking for a specific type of game, you're like being forced to make a choice between Dokkan and Legends, because they are very different types of games. So I don't like to call them competitors, but there is that like friendly rivalry. I mean, there's some unfriendly rivalry in the communities especially, but like both games can thrive and it's all good. But like at the same time, we want them to be sort of on equal footing in terms of treatment for like who gets what characters. And I know, you know, Legends doesn't have heroes or any of that kind of cool stuff, but the fact that those units can come out in other games and then months and months later they're still not out in Dokkan is just kind of crazy, right? So Super Saiyan 4 adult Goku, when is he going to come to Dokkan? I mean, if they wait until the 11th anniversary, like I said, I feel like that's such a long wait for him to finally come out. It just feels like they've missed a trick there, especially. Like, there will still be hype for him, don't get me wrong, because like I said, a lot of people just like Super Saiyan 4. and will always like any form of Super Saiyan 4 buffs, even if it is the Daima version. But I feel like there's just a lot of people who, even if they did like Daima, but maybe not a huge amount, there are people that if you have to wait like a year from when the show ends for the unit to come out in the game, a lot of people are just not going to care anymore, which is the major issue. Obviously, with things like top grossing and stuff, we know that they don't matter as much because the gacha market is so wide now. Like, Dokkan cannot hit top grossing multiple times for celebrations and still be making a ton of money that the investors and the CEOs and stuff will all be happy with. But you want to maximize hype as much as possible. And so, I don't know, it's something that was brought up on stream, like, either today or yesterday. Maybe there is a reason, and, you know, because we know the people that own the rights to the various different parts of Dragon Ball, just for whatever reason, are allergic to making decisions that would be really popular and make them loads of money. Maybe there is a reason, and like whoever it is that gets the final say of when the Daima units can come to Dokkan is just deliberately not allowing them to come to Dokkan yet. But I don't understand why anyone would do that, because anyone involved in that kind of decision, if they own the rights to any Daima related stuff, will surely only make money by having a Daima related thing drop in a game that then makes loads of money. So I'm not really sure about all of that kind of stuff. I don't think it's something shady like that behind the scenes. Who knows? Maybe the person who owns maybe the person who can make that final decision is just a Legends player who hates Dokkan. Who knows? But I don't think that that is the case. So all in all, we are sat here still waiting for the Daima version of Super Saiyan 4 Goku. If we do indeed get a Dokkan Fest event dropping in the next few days and it is Daima Goku, I think that would be kind of crazy, especially because there is the theory that it could be a summonable LR, but like this map has absolutely nothing to do with Daima as well. That's the other thing we should kind of point out, is that, like I said, this video was mainly to talk about when Daima Goku will come out, not to try and say, hey guys, I think he could be this part 3 unit, because I mean the map thing makes absolutely no sense for this to be a Daima Goku Dokkan event. So honestly, at this point, Tanabata is probably the next most likely in terms of when they could actually drop something, because I feel like if they're going to do adult Super Saiyan 4 Goku, he kind of has to be an LR. I could see the mini one being a TUR, but like the adult one has to be an LR, surely. And so if they don't do it for Tanabata, then we're looking at it being part of the anniversary. Maybe not the whole anniversary is just Daima themed, but it could be something like Power Beyond Super Saiyan themed, and we could finally get a standalone Blue Vegito or something. But yeah, I mean, if we wait until the 11th anniversary, then I guess we technically will get Daima before GTA 6. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. When do you think Daima will finally come to Dokkan? Do you think that they have massively fumbled the bag here by waiting so long to bring this out in the game? Are you somebody who, you know, fits that kind of archetype where even if you weren't necessarily super hyped about Daima, you would have been interested in it coming to Dokkan, but the fact that it's taken so long, there's kind of, you know, that little bit of hype has died off. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. I personally would like to see the Daima stuff come sooner rather than later. I didn't like the design originally of his hair, but the adult Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta's like really grown on me, so I really want him in Dokkan with really good animations, and hopefully they don't fumble him like the mini one. But I want these guys to come to the game sooner rather than later. But let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. When do you think we will see Daima in Dokkan? Let me know. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.